What other games?
What about God of War
Yeah, that's about it.
for the PSP?
I like God of War. Oh, there's God. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, those games they ported those games to the PS3, and I have like a normal PS3 or PSP, like the slim version or whatever. When the second PSP God of War game came out, I got the bundle for that, or I think maybe it was the first. But it came with what is it? It came with God of War, one of the God of War games. It was like the first or the second one. And then it also came with what is it? And then it came with like a special themed God of War PSP that was like red and shit, red and white, which is pretty cool. So, and I believe I have both of them for the PS2. They're good games. I know they've been like remastered and ported to the PS3 now, but I don't think there's going to be a new one for Vita, unless I missed someone saying something.
You have two PSPs.
They might remaster the other two and put them on the Vita. I don't think there's going to be a new one specifically for the Vita, though. Again, it's at least what I've heard.
What about Mortal Kombat?
What about it? I
The new one. What do you think about it?
think it's a good game.
The combos. You think they're good? Fantastic.
Not really. Again, I'm not a fan of fighting games 'cause it's just like one big memory test. It's just like, oh, memorize like this fucking 2-hour combo, and then okay, got that memorized. Good job. Well, then you're gonna win now. So whatever. It's just not my thing. I think it's a good game though.
What else?
I like Mortal Kombat. It's probably one of the only fighters that I enjoy because it's not fucking. It's not so bland as games like what is it? It's not as bland as
Think about Tekken 6.
like Tekken. I hate Tekken. Tekken's awful just because of how bland it is and just how like the characters are uninteresting. It doesn't have a good concept behind it. Just a very generic fighting game, if that makes any sense.
What do you think about Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Daikenshi?
It's probably pretty shitty if it has the Dragon Ball Z name in it.
And what about Naruto? Ultimate Ninja Storm 2.
That's even worse. That again, it's like asking me like, what do you think of this big old piece of shit right here that was like regurgitated and then vomited up? Like, what is your opinion on that? Well, it's it's a piece of shit. What else do you want me to say? What
What about Call
are
of
you
Duty
expecting?
3?
Like a thesis on the piece of shit? It's a spy, by the way. And now he's dead. Oh no, he's not. Oh.
What about COD 3?
About what?
Call of Duty 3.
Well, what about it? How bad it is? I mean, is that what you want to know?
What's wrong with it?
That's all there really is to say. It's just how awful it is. Can't really take that franchise seriously anymore.
When could you?
It went to shit as soon as like 3 came out. I mean, it was never that good in the first place, but it really has gone to shit now. It needs to be erased from the face of this earth. That entire franchise. Just bomb Activision. Get rid of them. Same with EA. Not even like to defend them. Get rid of EA too. Dissolve both those companies and we'll be in a better world. Their assets are split among other game companies.
What do you think about shutting down the Lord of the Rings Conquest servers within less than a year of the game's released?
I don't care.
What about Battlefront Middle Earth 2?
It's an okay RTS. It's kind of interesting. I mean, yeah, it's pretty shitty in retrospective.
What about Shadowrun?
Shadowrun is really shitty. The new game, of course. The Super NES game is good, and the pen and paper RPG is pretty good. But the new game that was released is a ripoff of Counter-Strike. Like literally, like everything about it just like screams Counter Strike. Just without like the terrorist. Actually, it kind of is terrorist. Like one of them isn't like one of the sides they have to fight like a rebel group or some bullshit. So it is actually still kind of a rip-off of Counter Strike.
What about the Godfather game?
Why? Never mind.
Have you played that?
Oh, you have an Uber? I didn't know that. That would have been helpful to know like a couple minutes ago.
Have you played the game The Godfather?
See you later.
And Mafia 2?
Oh, we better get out of here, by the way. Have I played that game?
Doesn't seem...
No, and I probably never will play that game.
What about Grand
Hey, look,
Theft
a
Auto 4?
spy. Grand Theft Auto 4 is pretty shitty. I mean, like, the game itself, like the multiplayer was really shitty. The engine's pretty cool. I like the Euphoria engine. But the game just isn't as good as, like, San Andreas. Gameplay-wise, anyways.
Alien. What about Alien vs Predator?
What one? Just like 3 of them. There's Alien vs Predator, like the old one. There's the sequel to the old one, and then there's the new one.
The new one.
The new one is okay. It like the problem. The main problem is that it's what's the word I'm looking for?